Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie Lexi Layos, together with my groupmates Alicia Gwen Espino and Mariel Ignacio. Our topic is all about the school policies and their functions. So bago natin pag-usapan yung mga school policies, let us define first what is school. School is both the educational institution and building designed to provide learning spaces and learning environments for the teaching of students under the direction of teachers. So, it is typically provides formal education and includes various levels such as elementary, high school, and colleges. Ano naman ngayon ang tinatawag nating policy? Policy is a deliberate system of guidelines to guide decisions and achieve rational outcomes. So, sa madaling salita, policy is a statement of intent and it is implemented as a procedure or protocol. Policies are generally adopted by a governance body within an organization. So, ngayon, nalaman na natin yung meaning or kahulugan ng school and policy. So, ano nga ba ang magiging kahulugan kapag pinagsama natin ang school and policy? So, school policy is defined as the set of established expectations for specific behavior and norms within a school. School policies are put in a place to guide the day-to-day functioning of the school as well as to make it safe and an effective place for learning to occur, according to Postal 2019. So these policies cover a wide range of areas, including academic standards, student conduct, teacher responsibilities, safety protocols, and administrative procedure. So ngayon, dadako naman tayo sa mga examples ng school policies and their functions. So, unang-una is yung attendance policy. Attendance does matter because missing a lot of classes can lead to academic failure. Tama naman, di ba? Through this policy, it aims to improve pupils' achievement by ensuring high level of attendance and punctuality. If a student didn't attend to school, so what is the purpose why he or she is studying if she didn't attend his or her class? The purpose of studying is to gain knowledge, so there's no point of studying if you don't attend to your class. That's why school foster attendance because students can gain knowledge through this. So, yung function ng attendance policy is ini-ensure that all staff and governors in our schools are fully aware of and clear about the actions necessary to promote good attendance. So, the next one is anti-bullying policy. So, bakit nga ba may anti-bullying policy sa school? School have to make bullying prevention and bullying is education a top priority because students across the globe are affected by bullying every single day. One of the reasons of dropping out in a school and having poor academic performance of a student is because of bullying. So, ganun pala laki yung epekto ng bullying sa mga students and the school. If the students are bullied, this will cause a trauma. So, in 2015, former President Benigno Aquino has signed a Republic Act 10637 or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, which requires all schools to adopt policies that will prevent and address bullying in the classroom. So, yung function naman ng anti-bullying policy is to ensure that pupils learn in a supportive, caring, and safe environment without fear of being bullied. Ang pangatlo naman or ang susunod is yung dress code policy. So, bakit nga rin ba mayroong dress code policy sa school? Dress code promotes a more serious school atmosphere which emphasizes academics and promotes good behavior. So, school is not a place for fashion show. It is a place for learning and gaining knowledge by equipping every student in a right and correct manner. This is to guide students as to appropriate attire for school and at any school function. So, tama naman, di ba? Hindi naman fashion show yung school. So, nagpo-provide ng dress code policy, which is yung pagsusuot ng tamang uniform. So, yung function ng dress code policy is to guide students as to appropriate attire of school and at any school function. So, the next one is the Child Protection Policy. This is mandated by the DepEd Order Number 40 Series of 2012. This policy provides the basis for good practice within the school for child protection. So, mahalaga yung child protection policy. This is to include safeguarding and promoting the welfare of each children to protect them from maltreatment, protecting children from abuse, violence, and etc. So, what is the function of child protection policy? It is to ensure that all practices in the area of child protection are consistent and that the school takes every reasonable measure to ensure every child is healthy and safety. So, kaya pala may child protection policy sa isang school. So, the next one is health and safety policy. Mahalaga rin ito para sa students and staff in the school. So, health and safety policy, prevention, and preparations are essentials to reducing the risk of accidents and emergencies and minimizing harm when they do happen. So, yung mga example nga nito is yung pagkakandak ng earthquake drill. Diba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng earthquake drill para maihanda tayo kung sakali mang magkaroon ng lindol. Meron ding Fire Prevention Month. And yung function ng health and safety policy is to ensure that all members of the school community and visitors receive appropriate training and information to be able to avoid hazards and contribute positively to their health and safety. The next one is grading policy. It is important both of the students and parents to know how grades are computed and how are derived objectively, meaning there is tendency that a teacher would evaluate or grade the performance of the students based on their one. So, dapat alam ng students or the parents kung paano kinocompute yung mga quiz or assessments and mga output ng students para maging transparent sa lahat. So, yung function nito is to ensure objective assessment practice. Without the grading system, grading become highly subjective, which is true. And then the next one is behavior policy. In here, ang school ay hindi lang basta nagpo-focus academically, but also tinutulungan rin ma-build up yung mga behavior of each students to be a good individual or citizens. So, yung function nito is to help children grow in a safe and secure environment to become positive, responsible, and increasingly independent members of the school community. In conclusion, school policy is crucial as it provides guidelines and rules that create a structured and safe learning environment. It ensures fairness, consistency, and helps maintain order, ultimately foster a positive educational experience for students and staff.
Good day everyone, I am Alicia Guenam Espino and I am here to discuss the importance of policies. Schools in partnership with their community have their own picture of what they want to be or the vision statement, and so must offer services and must do what they are supposed to do or the mission statement in order to realize what they envision themselves to be. First, let's define what is vision and mission. A school vision statement focuses on the school's future. Its purpose is to state how a school together can grow. A successful vision statement is clear and concise. However, a mission statement or simply a mission is a public declaration that schools or other educational organizations use to describe their funding, purpose, and major organizational commitments, and what they do and why they do it. Therefore, for this to happen, policies must be in place. Observance of these policies must ensure everyone in the school community to toe the line. What does it mean when we say everyone in the school community must ensure to toe the line? It means they must follow the rules or obey an authority, specifically the policies that were given for them to follow. If conditions are ideal, like when all members of the school community are perfect school heads, teachers, students, parents, non-teaching personnel, and other members of the outside community, there may be no need of policies. Next, conditions in the school community and in this world are far from ideal, and persons that make the school community far from perfect, and so the need for policies. Our current situation is far from the ideal school community that we all wanted. That's why we need these policies to make the school community even better, so thus the teachers, parents, students, and the members of the community should ensure to follow the policies. Policies and guidelines for PTA or Parents Teachers Association. According to DepEd Order Number 54, every elementary and secondary school shall organize a Parents-Teacher Association or PTA for the purpose of providing a forum for the discussion of problems and their solutions related to the total school program, and to ensure the full cooperation of parents in the efficient implementation of such program. Dito naman sa mga policy na to, ito yung mga meetings na nagaganap kasama yung mga parents and teachers. Diba noong elementary tayo or high school, madalas din magkaroon ng PTA meeting sa school. Dito nila pinag-uusapan yung mga contributions na magaganap para sa mga projects ng school, and dito rin ina-address yung mga problems ng mga anak nila or about sa grades. Importante na nagkakaroon tayo ng PTA meetings para yung parents ay laging involved sa kung ano yung plano ng school para sa mga anak nila, at para aware sila kung ano yung mga dapat i-improve pa ng mga anak nila. Policy on the grading system. School's policy on the grading system is important for everyone concerned to know how grades are derived objectively. Percentage weights for each components are clear. This policy is also important, especially for students, in order for them to know how their grades are being computed, or on what component they need to really give their focus on because of the corresponding percentage they have. Just like what our professor said, we are the ones who makes our grades, and they are only computing it based on the grading policy the school has. Let me share you a story. Back when I was a grade 8, our teacher lets us to compute our own grades. That time, kaka-implement pa lang ng policy na wala ng top 10 or ranking. So it means lahat ng students na aabot yung grades nila sa 90 pataas ay magiging honor. 'Di ba ang classification na ngayon is with honor, with high honor, and with highest honor. So ang ginawa ng teacher namin, binigay niya yung mga grades na nakuha namin per subject, and she lets us to compute it on our own para matuto kami kung paano makuha yung final average namin. It is just an example na dapat yung students ay aware kung paano nila nakukuha yung grades nila. Teachers are guided in their assessment practices. The grading policy ensures objective assessment practice. Without the grading policy, grading may become highly subjective. It is really important to have a policy on grading so that teachers and students will have fair grade computation and will fulfill the purpose of assessment. And of course, it will serve as the guidance and information for all. It is also mentioned that without the grading policy, grading may become highly subjective. What does it mean if the grading becomes highly subjective? It only means the grading will be dependent on the teacher and involve interpretation. Next is the policies on students' tardiness and absenteeism. According to DepEd Order Number 88, Series 2018, regularity of attendance and punctuality are required in all classes. A pupil or student who has been absent or has cut classes is required to present a letter of explanation from his parents or guardians to bring them to school for a short conference with the section advisor or guidance mentor. If there are no policies on students' tardiness and absenteeism, students may just come in late or absent. This policy will require the students to come to school early and avoid making absence. And also, it will open more opportunities for them to learn if they are going to school consistently. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng tardiness and absenteeism? Yung tardiness, ibig sabihin yung laging late sa school. And yung absenteeism naman is yung laging uma-absent sa school. So, it means kapag absent yung bata, hindi siya natututo. And kapag naman late siya, meron siyang mga nami-miss na mga information na sinasabi ng teacher dahil late siya pumasok sa school. Kaya naman yung policy na to makakatulong sa mga bata para mas maging motivated sila na pumasok ng maaga at pumasok palagi at iwasang umabsent.
Magandang hapon, Bid 3A. So, ako na ang pang-last reporter para sa Chapter 11 at ito ang aking topic na i-discuss sa inyo ang Effective Policy Formulation and Implementation in a School-Community Partnership. So, para mas maintindihan nyo, ay i-discuss ko sila sa inyo. So, policy formulation. Effective policy formulation process must be participatory. This means that is the best that the rest of the school and community be involved. Two good heads are better than one. Beside participation of the school and community develops a sense of ownership of such formulated policy. So, ibig sabihin, nangangahulugan ito, class, na napakalaking pakinabang ito na kasama nga dito yung miyembro ng paaralan at komunidad sa pagbuo ng isang patakaran. At yung miyembro ng paaralan na yon, ang tinutukoy natin dito ay yung mga school, yung mga stakeholders ng ating school. Siyempre, sinasabi nito na mas maganda na kasama ang iba't ibang perspective nila o yung idea nila. Siyempre, sa pagbuo ng isang policy ay mas marami dapat kayo. Kasi kapag bubuo ka ng isang policy, hindi lang isang tao ang gagawa nun. Siyempre, may kasama pa rin sa pag-i-implement ng policies. At kailangan sa paggawa ng policy na yon ay maging malikhain tayo. Hindi dapat natin ginagaya yung policy na to sa ibang tao. Dapat maging creative tayo at maging unique kapag gumagawa ng policy. At siguraduhin natin yung policy na yon ay magiging mas maganda ang kalalabasan at maging kapaki-pakinabang ito sa lahat. Hindi lamang sa guro, hindi lamang sa komunidad, syempre makikinabang dito yung mga estudyante. At syempre, hindi lang sa estudyante, sa mga magulang ng mga estudyante. So, ang susunod natin ay para sa policy formulation ay ang supporting structures. Yung first nga dito ay ang family school action teams to plan, organize, implement, and evaluate partnership. So, dito, ang pangunahing layunin nga nila ay ang magplano or mag-organize na ipatupad yung partnership o samahan sa pagitan ng pamilya at paaralan. So, ano po ba yung naiisip nyo kapag pamilya at paaralan ang magkasama? Okay? Siyempre ang PTA meeting. So, 'di ba, upang magkaroon ng mas malalim na kooperasyon at ugnayan sa pagitan ng magulang at mga guro, ibig sabihin na to ay naglalayong mapabuti ang edukasyon ng mga mag-aaral. Siyempre, kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng PTA meeting sa school, ay sinasabi ni teacher kung ano yung mga dapat gawin at mga kailangan para sa ganon masabi ng mga magulang ito sa mga anak nila. At syempre, etong si magulang, kung ano yung mga pangangailangan din ng student, ay sasabihin din niya doon sa teacher para sa ganon ay magkaroon sila ng partnership sa isa't isa. Kaya nga sabi na naglalayong mapabuti ang edukasyon ng mga mag-aaral. So, sa pangalawa naman is yung school policies and procedures which explicitly state and clearly integrate the principles and practices of effective partnership. So, ito yung nagbibigay lamang ng mga gabay sa mga miyembro ng paaralan. So, sino po ba ang miyembro ng paaralan? Ang guro, mga estudyante. Siyempre, pwede din yung pumapasok dito yung parents. So, ay nagtatakda ng inaasahang gawain at responsibilidad upang mapanatili ang maayos na ugnayan at kooperasyon sa pagitan ng pamilya at ng paaralan. So, ayun, di ba? So, dapat yung school policy ay dapat talagang masunod ng estudyante para sa ganun ay mas maayos yung pagiging partnership ng isang pamilya at ng isang school. So, kailangan talaga na sundin. Like for examples, sinabi nga ng unang reporter, required sa isang school na mag-uniform, mag-ID, pagpapasok, bawal ang bully, di ba? So, dapat sinasabi ng mga guro sa teacher, ng mga teacher ito sa mga estudyantes, at pwede rin sabihin ni teacher ito sa mga kanilang magulang. Para sa ganon ay masunod nila yung policies na yon. And susunod dito yung support networks to involve in school community to share ideas, issue, and the best practices. So, ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon sila ng pagkakataon yung bawat miyembro ng paaralan ay matuto at magbahagi ng kaalaman at karanasan para sa ganun is mas napapalakas yung ugnayan nila at yung pagkakaisa ng buong komunidad at paaralan. So, pwede dito, kunyari yung nagkakaroon sila ng, yung mag-share sila ng mga ideas nila, kung ano ba yung pwedeng gawin sa school na yun, kung ano ba para mas mapaganda nila. At next nga dito ay yung accountability to the community to report on successes and drive improvement and partnership. So, ayan nga yung mga kailangan o yung mga supporting structures ng policy formulation. At next naman natin ay let us view. Okay, kung makikita nyo sa picture, di ba? School, sa gilid, communities, communities. So, basahin natin. Let us view the school as part of the whole system. Consider this a school is situated in a specific community and its students are member of this community or a nearby one. The teaching and learning that goes on in a school is affected by these communities. When we view a school, then he must see it as part of the community. So, tignan niyo yung picture. Diba, yung school, may community sa gilid, may community sa gilid. Lagi niyong tatandaan, class, na ang school ito ay bahagi ng ating komunidad. Diba? Meron silang partnership na nabubuo sa isa't isa. 'di ba, sa itong student talaga ng paaralan ay ano po siya, member po siya ng ating community. At dito, yung mga estudyante sa school ay tinuturuan sila para matuto. Para sa ganon is mapalawak yung kaalaman ng isang estudyante sa mga bagay na mga itinuturo ng guro. At syempre, yung komunidad ay nagpapakita ito ng ugnayan at interaksyon ng paaralan sa mga tao at institusyon sa paligid nito. At tulad nga ng pagsasaalang-alang ng paaralan bilang bahagi ng komunidad ay nagbibigay ng oportunidad ito na sa pagsasama-sama ng mga stakeholders tulad ng ng mga magulang, guro at mga lokal na institusyon upang magkaroon sila ng mga malawak na pagtutulungan at pagkakaisa sa bawat isa. So, next. So, sabing ganon ay, why does the school need to involve the community in the policy formulation? Bakit nga ba? So, tignan natin. Next. So, school and community partnership is collaborative relationship and activity involving schools, staff, parents, and other members of the community. Katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, di ba? Yung school ay bahagi siya ng community at nagkakaroon sila ng partnership at nagko-collaborate sila kung ano ba yung mga bagay na kailangan nilang gawin. Yung pangangailangan ng school, sinasabi nila sa community, di ba? At si community naman, gagawa niya ng aksyon para maibigay sa school yung mga bagay na mga kailangan na to. So, syempre, kapag hihingi ka ng isang bagay dito, pumapasok dito yung involving ng mga staff ng yung mga parents or other members of the community. Yung kailangan mag-request, halimbawa sa isang school, kulang ng kagamitan, magre-request sila. Kaya nga, sinabing ganun, the school, family, community are partnership. Together sila, belong sila sa isa't isa, kaya sama-sama. So, the next. Why is school and community partnership important? Sobrang importante ito, syempre, napakalaking bahagi po ng community ang school. So, kung papakinggan nyo, halos paulit-ulit lang din, mula sa mga naunang nag-report sa akin, puro partnership yung important. Syempre, makikita natin dito yung parent, yung student, yung teacher are connected to each other. So, syempre, lagi yung tatandaan yung parents. Ano po ba ang parents? Syempre, siya po ang foundation. Sila po ang unang nagtuturo sa mga bata, sa mga student, bago po natin ipasok sa school. At ang school ay nagiging pangalawang tahanan ng mga bata at ang mga guro ay nagiging pangalawang magulang ng mga estudyante. Kaya talagang napakalaking involvement ng parent, student, teacher na to sa community at kaya may partnership na nagaganap. So, eto na. Thus, community school partnership over the communities the opportunity to support the needs of the children and families with an intentional and enhanced and supported academic, social, emotional health experience in the school setting as well as at local agency and community-based side. So, ito yung naglalayo na magbigay ng mas malawak na suporta hindi lamang sa aspeto ng edukasyon, kundi pati na rin sa mga iba't ibang aspekto ng mga mag-aaral na maaring magkaroon ng mga serbisyo, di ba? Serbisyong pang emosyonal, ganon, di ba? Di ba, kung makikita nyo sa school natin, yung may pumupunta doon na mga nurse na minsan tinitignan yung mga ipin natin, i-check nila, 'di ba? Ganon. So, dahil doon, nagkakanoon pa rin talagang sobrang laki talaga ng involvement ng community sa school, ano? Yung partnership nila sa isa't isa. So, ganun lang naman yan. Hindi lamang academic yung ibinibigay sa atin, kundi yung social and emotional health experience. So, doon na po natatapos ang aking discussion. So, muli, maraming salamat sa pakikinig, BID 3A. I hope marami kayong natutunan. Paalam!